Hey everyone, Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 37 of Oscar Rewind 2024 edition, my bi-weekly series of videos where I revisit the films that reflect the earlier work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. As always, I'll be discussing the awards history for the film, the box office information, the critical response, and as always, these reviews are spoiler-free. As we know, the purpose of these is to help you discover a new older flick that you haven't seen or help you rediscover that old favorite that you haven't seen. And this week, as you can see by the poster above my head, I will admit this to you. This week I will be correcting two of my cinema sins, and we are diving into Scornero Week. Yes, both films that I'll be talking about this week were new for me, and I am going to jump right into it. And also, what a greater time to start Scornero Week at this point, because this week marks the halfway point of season one of Oscar Rewind, which means that award season is almost coming up. So, we are going to be moving right along, and first up, as you see, is Warner Brothers' Mean Streets. Based on a story by the film's director, Martin Scorsese, he co-wrote with Mardik Martin, a man he would continue to collaborate on with several projects after this. Released in the fall of 1973, the film, based on the information I found, and this one did a little work, it had a small box office take. Normally, all the information I give comes from Box Office Mojo, and according to that, after the film's initial release and several re releases, both domestically and internationally, the film only showed a total box office return of $61,676 worldwide, 32,645 domestic, and 26,389 international. However, there are some other sources when I was doing my reading, because that didn't seem right, that say the movie made over $3 million. So take that as you will. Critically, the film was well received, and as per Rotten Tomatoes, the film currently sits with a 94% critical rating based on 77 reviews and over 50,000 audience scores, giving it a rating of 84%. So, I'm pretty sure everyone knows why this film lands here. Obviously, I said it is Scornero Week, and I referenced Martin Scorsese, good old Marty, and also one of the film's leads, Robert De Niro. Both of them this year celebrated nominations at the Oscars for Best Director and Best Supporting Actor, respectively, for Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, this film, Mean Streets, actually marked the first collaboration between the two, which between 1973 and 2023, 50 years, that 50 years would result on average a film every 5 years, as Killers of the Flower Moon was their 10th collaboration, after working on such other Oscar fair films as Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Cape Fear, and The Irishman. As for Mean Streets' own award season journey, the biggest success for the film actually came in 1997 when it was named one of the films to be preserved by the National Film Preservation Board. Now, this is the second film I've discussed this season that's had this honor, the first one being Jaws, and there will be more, I can tell you, coming down the pike. Additionally, the National Society of Film Critics nominated Mean Streets for Best Film at the time, Best Actor for Robert De Niro, Best Actor for Harvey Keitel, and a win for De Niro as Best Supporting Actor. Yes, you heard that right. For this role, he was in both races, actor and supporting actor. One supporting actor, and actually placed higher than Keitel in the Best Actor. De Niro placed fourth, while Keitel only placed sixth. Scorsese and Martin were nominated for Best Drama Written Directly for the Screen at the Writers Guild Award. And finally, Robert De Niro was named the Best Supporting Actor by the New York Film Critics Circle Awards for his role of Johnny Boy. So, what's this film about? For those that, like me up until this week, may not have seen this one. Mean Streets is a gritty look at the New York City of the early 1970s. Set against the backdrop of the annual San Gennaro feast, we meet Charlie, played by Harvey Keitel. A devout Catholic, he's having a form of existential crisis, as it were, feeling very conflicted between his loyalty to the family business run by head honcho, his uncle Giovanni, played by Cesare Danova, and the more, I guess you could say, traditional life that is guided by his faith that he wants. Additionally, he feels responsible for his rather immature friend, Johnny Boy, as I said, played by De Niro. Johnny Boy, he would rather hang out on the roofs and shoot at the Empire State Building or drink at their friend Tony's bar rather than go to work or pay back the money to the loan sharks that he owes, including Michael, played by Richard Romanus. And part of this, the reason why, Charlie is so invested, is he's also having a secret relationship with Johnny's cousin Teresa, played by Amy Robinson, an epileptic who is not very close with her family. As a result of the condition, she's not very welcome with there. There's a lot of family strife. So, Charlie's dating her, protecting Johnny. And all of this is despite the warnings that his uncle Giovanni is giving him, as Giovanni is saying, stay away from them. They are no good. But this life he's leading, especially for Johnny, he finds it, I guess, you could say it's almost like a form of penance for the more sinful uh, mob dealings that he's doing. And, the film is interesting because it doesn't follow, like many of Scorsese's films, it doesn't follow a narrative structure, but we're just going to follow this group led by Keitel of these up and coming mobsters to be, as they traipse through downtown Manhattan, building towards an uncertain future as some realize that this might not be all that they want. Unlike the more slick films that we've seen of late Scorsese, like the gorgeous sweeping lands of Killers of the Flower Moon or the corporate glossiness and crispness of The Wolf of Wall Street, here at the start of his career, we get that gritty New York energy of the 70s, telling stories that were inspired by his youth. Working with cinematographer Kent L. Wakeford, he gives us these great shots. It almost seems like when you're watching this film, it's guerrilla filmmaking at its best. Like, we have to hurry up, get these shots, move it along. Whether we're at this bar or whether on this street corner and just, shoot the scene and move it along. And, combining some very long takes, there's a very interesting fight scene in a bar, and then some quick cuts during some car chases. You almost get this unique voyeuristic feel as we follow Charlie and company along on their journey. At times, the screen is filled with sweeping takes of the bars and the clubs, and then you're in the midst of the live music, and you're at the San Gennaro feast, and you're having fun as the mobsters are running around doing their thing. And I have to say, De Niro, in one of his earliest film roles as Johnny Boy, is delightfully unhinged. And when he has to stand toe to toe with the more wrapped Keitel, you can tell that there is a genuine relationship between these two, which is something we've seen in other films throughout their careers, often, sometimes with Scorsese at the helm. Look, Scorsese's from New York, and he gives us a love letter. Anytime he puts a film in New York, we're getting his views, and it's a love letter to the city you can tell that he loves. Even if this city he loves, we may not necessarily want to be in, it's there. And a nice thing I have to say, a nice thing about the film is when you first look at it, you almost think like this is like a mob film, but it's more than that. We get some very interesting character studies that present a view into mob life and the impact it has on those around it. Kind of similar to this year's Fresh Kills, written and directed by Jennifer Esposito. Excellent film and a plug, by the way. If you haven't seen it, available on digital now. Uh, sorry, moving. Look, following Charlie and his crew through these small moments, whether they're just hanging out at the bar, having some drinks, going and sitting through a movie, getting into a bar brawl. There's more than just the family business. And, even our head honcho, up and comer Charlie, even he, trying to be the big man, is still, living at home and getting new shirts from his mom. So it's a coming of age mafia story in a way, if you will. Mean Streets is a solid four-star film for me. I'm glad I finally corrected the cinema sin of not having seen it and watched it, something I will do again later this week when my next episode looks at the next Scornero collaboration, 1976 Taxi Driver, which also has Keitel. If you haven't seen Mean Streets or you would like to venture a rewatch, it's been a while and I'm bringing this back to the forefront. It is currently streaming with ads on Tubi as of this recording and post. See everyone later this week. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click the subscribe button and join in on all the cinematic goodness. You can follow me on all social media platforms, then on Letterboxd, TikTok, Instagram, all of them. Please check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for additional exclusive print reviews of all of the summer releases and all the other goodness that's there. Happy watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.